Now, the first thing that I tell you when we start doing any homework assignment is, yes, I tell you to go paint lemons. Yes, I go tell you to paint a glass of water. Yes, I go tell you to paint eggs. But I'm not after an egg painting or a lemon painting. I don't really care how well you paint lemons. What I want to see is a magnificent work of art. Most of your work fails in the first moment before you start. And I know that because what artists will do is they'll say, you know, well, I just had this extra canvas laying underneath. It was, holding up my easel for a while, and I decided to put a log there instead and use the canvas. And, it's like, or just really cheap canvases. If you want to create great art, you have to set out to create great art. It's not an accident. Now, some of you paint with the intention that's a homework assignment, and by gosh, by golly, it becomes a great work of art. But wouldn't it be better if you started off thinking of it as a great work of art before you started? So if I ask you to go and paint a glass of water, I don't want a glass of water. The world doesn't need another glass of water. I don't need a photographic one. It doesn't need to look. What I want to do is I want to see what you see when you look at water. I want to see a great painting. I want to see something for your homework assignment that I would go to a gallery to go see. I want to go see something that you guys created as a homework assignment that you would want somebody to buy from you because it's so phenomenal. The homework requests by far in all of my classes become the paintings that most people sell. Right, Lavon?
Yeah. I just sold my glass of water.
You just sold your glass of water. Yeah.
Even on these cardboard?
Yeah. People like the subject matter better than all of these wonderful things you guys put significance. Oh, it's a class project. I've got to go spend 6 months on a painting. And then I tell you to go home, do a homework assignment on, and lo and behold, that's the thing that sells. I have a student up in Medford. She has a whole portfolio of paintings. She went to a gallery, and she's a great artist. The gallery looked at it and said, I will take all of these. It was all of her homework pieces.
Wow.
He says, I've got buyers for all of that. I don't know what to do with those. It's because there's something about these homework assignments that are spontaneous, that they're really kind of a unique view. And the way that we talk about them, we want to create something that is interesting. In fact, a lot of people are intimidated about doing the homework assignment because they feel like they're doing it for me. And you don't need to do that. You should be doing it for yourself. You should be sitting down at a blank canvas going, what is it that will make this stand out in a room full of art? And if you start off your homework assignment with that attitude and go buy a masterpiece, high-end canvas before you start, you are destined to go somewhere with that painting. But if you just pull out a sheet of paper and paint on it, it's not going to be the same experience. So when I'm asking for a request, I'm looking for a painting that has beautiful composition. I'm looking for a painting that has great eye magnets and movement. I'm looking for a painting that has the central focal point on the right-hand side. And I'm looking for a painting that has an effect, that has me want to walk across that gallery and go, whoa, and just blow all the other paintings away. One good thing about the students that are in my class is they know what to look for in paintings now. Have you guys experienced that going to the museums? You walk into a museum and you go, I know why that painting's working and that one's not. And you go to an art show and you go, that painting needs a central focal point. There's no effect in that. That painting's flat. You know that now because we've gone through the homework assignments by doing these practices. I want you to start off thinking that this is not just a request. I want you to think that these are the paintings that will go on to your grandkids and your great-grandkids and be your legacy. And your other paintings that you do in class, those are your practice paintings. Isn't that weird? We're just flipping everything. Okay? So let's take a look at this. Whose is this? Okay, so what were you thinking?
I did it on the daylights and I did it very fast. Almost 1.5 hours maybe I took, and I was more focused on that lemon than that bag.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I did.
Okay. So what we see here is we have a beautiful central focal point with that lemon on the light, and we do have the bag, and I know it's a bag. I don't need any more information on that. One thing that you said is that you didn't spend a lot of time on it. You spent like a half an hour, and it's a good thing that you did because at least you got a chance to do that. Now these look more like limes than lemons, so we got to kind of watch your colors a little bit, but. We could use a little bit more light around the table, because if the light's hitting the lemon like that, it would be hitting the table also. Okay? So what's missing in this painting is more time. Now, some of the paintings that are done with the lemons look like limes, or they look like oranges. Now, if I were to do a lemon painting, I would leave the studio, walk a block down, and go over to Trader Joe's. And I would spend an hour and a half digging through their lemon pile to find the...
Security came for you.
Huh?
I said until security came for you.
I would look for a lemon that definitely defined what a lemon would look like. Not just a big bulbous thing that looked like an orange that happened to be yellow. I would look at, if I said to myself, what does a lemon look like? I would look for one that was beautifully yellow. I'd look for one that had the nice little ends at the end, that you'd look for. I'd look for one that had beautiful textures on it. If I'm going to paint an onion, I'm going to find the most beautiful onion with all of the skins and all of that stuff, because to me that's what an onion is. When you strip the onion away and all of the outside part of it is boring. I mean, because that's what I do. I told you earlier that art is a human experience and it's communication. And so I want to show the world how beautiful an onion or a lemon can be. I want people to after seeing my lemon, I want them to go over to Trader Joe's and start digging around looking for the perfect lemon. I want them to go, I'm not going to take an ordinary lemon home. Stefan taught me that there are quintessential lemons. And that's what I'm going to bring home for my family. Okay? So anyway, more time on that. So, whose is this? Is that quintessential? What were you thinking? Awesome. Absolutely awesome. I mean, you haven't done a lot of homework assignments.
And I really enjoyed this. It was something really...
You would enjoy all of the homework assignments.
I got a dozen more parents.
Some people, they like, what does he want me to paint a broken egg for on a plate? I guarantee you, once you start these homework assignments, you are in love. And that's why you're robbing yourself if you start it a day before class. You really need to go home saying, I'm going to play this game. I'm going to try to make a masterpiece. And like you said, you're glad you did. And you haven't done a lot of homework assignments. But my God, thank God you did this one. And maybe the next one. And then the next one. I mean, imagine. This is one of your finest pieces. And
But you critiqued where I made boo-boos, so go for that.
you want me to critique where
Mistakes.
where did you make
You
mistakes?
said because I put my focal point on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
The direction my light was coming from.
Yeah.
It should have been reversed.
Yeah, if your light's coming from this direction, you want your focal point to be on the right.
I forgot that entirely. Hadn't been listening.
But is it wrong or right?
It would have looked better. It would have been a better composition.
It would have been a better composition. Does it mean that if you're going to have an ad on this bottom half side, is that people are not going to notice you? No, they'll notice you more here than there. It's just that, it's a matter of taste. I like having the focal point here. But that said, I can't knock down the painting. It's beautiful. I mean, it's this bag being torn open. And what's really beautiful about it is that you took a bag and just ripped it open. And so I can kind of feel the energy or the feeling of what it's like to rip apart a bag. Don't you think ripping apart a bag is a human experience? Mm-hmm. Okay? That tearing. I mean, sometimes when you're bringing groceries home and a bag tears, there's a sense of panic because you heard that tear, right? But here what we see here is tearing the bag apart, human experience re-rendered. Beautiful lemons spilling out. And these are not ordinary lemons. These are lemons that you would want a king to serve at a major feast. They're beautiful lemons. Using the blue to create some of the green and all the way around here, absolutely beautiful. The oranges with yellow, just beautiful all the way around. Wonderful eye magnets, how the viewer is brought into the painting over and over. This is a painting that if I saw it in a gallery, I would walk by 10 others to sit in front of it and marvel at how wonderful it is.
Wow, very nice.
Very, very nice job.
Gee, Judy, are you going to set up a table with me?
Okay, so whose is this?
Mine.
Okay, so what were you thinking?
Lemon and paper.
Huh? What?
Lemon and paper bag.
Lemon in a paper bag. So what do you think what was your experience of painting it? Were you rushed? Were you set it up? Did you have any issues about?
Well, I got lemon and I put them on the table mat and just the brown bag.
Mm-hmm. Did you set up a light on it?
No.
Why not?
I just did it.
What is the most important thing in this class?
Light.
The effect of light on an object. Judy's painting is gorgeous because that one lemon has that perfect lighting effect. When you paint things, we don't paint things. When you paint things, the viewer is bored. This room is filled with things. There's no magic in this room. We have beautiful opportunities all over here. You know, that bunch of pencils over there. That would make a marvelous painting, but right now you don't notice it. But I guarantee you, if I flipped the light on it and turned the lights off on here and you saw the light hitting those wonderful colors and pencils and shadows that they created and all that, you would go, oh my God, there's a painting right there. And all this time, you didn't even bother looking at it. It's because you didn't make it special. Do you think if Joan Crawford would get out on stage and there wasn't any light on her and she was lit up like everybody else, that you would notice her? No. They pay somebody a lot of money to stand there with a spotlight and force her to shine. And that's what you see on stage. I mean, imagine going to Broadway and watching a play with no lighting. That would be boring. Lighting effect is everything. It creates drama, it creates shadows, it creates color, it creates imagination. So all we have here is just a painting of lemons in a paper bag. So everything's kind of flat. So you've got to set up your still life to make a successful, it's a light show. Okay? Whose painting is this? What were you thinking?
Well, I've been criticized so many times about not having some things in shadows, so I have heavy shadows. Got that shadow.
So if you squint your eyes a little bit on this painting, you know the one thing you have in this painting is marvelous. And the reason why is because it's all effect. It almost feels, you've got that so well lit, that lemon, that it looks like it's beaming out of the bag. That is a lemon that definitely is lit. And the light that bounces off of it. Where the last painting we looked at was about objects, and you know there was no shadows. This is all about shadows and lighting effect. I'm not sure if it was, you know, what you were after. This is like going into like your self-expression abstract phase here. But it does have an interesting, something that would at least make me walk up and look at it. I don't know if I'm crazy about it, but there's a lighting effect. And the point that I want to make is that when you have a lighting effect, it makes a huge difference in a painting. Huge difference in a painting. I'm going to show you one here. Whose is that?
It's wonderful.
Why is it wonderful?
It's alive.
It's that little bit of light. This is almost like a combination of Chris's painting and your painting. You know, like here's the objects, and then Chris had the beaming light, and this is all of it together. You know, this is beautiful. This kind of looks like the way Rembrandt would have painted this assignment. The lighting effect in here is all subdued, and then we go just on the other side of that lemon there, although it looks like an orange or tangerine. Tangerine. We go just right behind there in that wonderful silhouette. This probably is maybe a little more successful than Judy's painting, because Judy's painting is beautifully lit and kind of flooded. This one is kind of like, oh, I'm going to interrupt your experience, excuse me. You know, and so there's something that happens that kind of puts tension into the painting that makes it just even a little more interesting. Both of them are masterpieces. I mean, they're like, whew, you guys need to sit over in this corner over here because there's a lot of magic here. This is really, really beautiful. The shadow effect. This is the difference between having a painting with light and a painting with not. You know, it really is about the effect of light that makes extraordinary paintings. Absolutely awesome. Yeah.